still in Atlanta. We got the call-in show tonight. This is an emergency call-in show. I'm coming to you from the ATL. I appreciate you guys joining. The call-in line is open. It's at the bottom of the screen. What you're watching over here is a celebration. What a celebration it's been for the Alabama Crimson Tide. The overall story. Can I get a roll tide inside the comment box? And can I get a thumbs up if you think that Alabama will beat Michigan in the Rose Bowl? On the show, I want to take your calls. I want to hear from you about Alabama and about Georgia. Your takeaways from yesterday's SEC title game as Alabama wins a great game against the Georgia Bulldogs. And then today on playoff Sunday, the Crimson Tide are paired up with the Michigan Wolverines and the sign stealer in Jim Harbaugh. Of course, they're allegations, but are they? Got a great show lined up, and I want to take your calls. So hit up the phone line, 205-850-1994, coming to you from beautiful Atlanta, Georgia, and give me a roll tide inside the comment box. Look, I knew that Alabama would be in the playoffs. I knew that we would get to this point in time. There's Miss Terry right there. She's been, really the coach off the field. But I never really lost any confidence in this team. In fact, I only gained confidence of this team. And I think there's a lot of people that did as well. What's up, Jarvis? I see you inside the comment box. Because of the fact that Alabama was able to grow every single week. And there was a lot of people that gave this team the reverse rat poison. Honestly, I think that is really a thing, 100%. And I think when people felt that Alabama, was out, Alabama just continued to prove people wrong time and time and time again. Coach Saban said that he had a restless night. I'm sure a lot of people did as well, because, I think when you look to the playoffs and, the different resumes were out there, whatever it was, there was a team east of Alabama in Tallahassee that finished out the season 13-0. And I do feel for the kids. I get it. They felt that they had a really good season. I'm talking about Florida State right now. But the truth of the matter is the best four teams had to go in the playoffs. And Florida State was certainly not one of those teams. Mike Norvell and the athletic director, they put out a statement today talking about that they have lost confidence in the playoff football committee. Look, this playoff committee should have never been in charge of selecting the teams in the playoffs for the past several years. And now moving to this 12-team bracket, I guess it's a little bit better because there are some parameters in terms of division champs that are going to, get into the playoffs. But overall, I mean, you have just a bunch of people in a room making the decision based on these teams. And when you look to Alabama's resume compared to Florida State, there was really no comparison. We talked about it 100 different ways, and I get it. Florida State's really upset, 13-0, and they have an opportunity to prove a lot of people wrong by beating Georgia. Will they stay locked in? I would. If I was Florida State, why wouldn't you? You're getting an opportunity to play the two-time defending champ. That's an amazing opportunity. There's going to be so many people watching that game. So if I'm Mike Norvell, I don't know if I put out a statement like he put out. Honestly, I think you're just like, look, this is the next game that we have. Keep the kids locked in and focus on the next task at hand, and that is Georgia. You have an amazing opportunity to keep your brand where it's at and sell yourself during this transfer portal season. So I think that, if you're Mark Novell, you just get back to work. And you weren't in the playoffs, but you can prove that you are a playoff team next week. What's up? I appreciate the super chat early on. Roll Tide, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. We'll get to the calls tonight. Hit me up. 205-850-1994 is the call-in line. We got a 423. I'll get onto it in just a second. Yeah, hook 'em, baby. Drew saying hook 'em, baby. This is a dangerous team, 100%. I mean, the Texas Longhorns are bringing a lot to the table. And I think people get caught up in the fact that the offense is so dangerous when, in fact, the defense might be even better than the offense. That D-line really beat up Alabama in the beginning of the season. They'll have another opportunity maybe to meet up with Alabama again. And wouldn't that be something if the two teams meet in round 2 back in the state of Texas, right? That is a possibility. But as Jarvis is saying, Michigan is up next and Michigan and Alabama. What is your early take on that game? I think, Jarvis, what's the line on that game? I appreciate you hitting me up. I think it was like 2.5 in favor of Michigan. I just posted the opening remarks on the SEC, I'm sorry, on the Rose Bowl teleconference. And Nick Saban said he had a sleepless night about the playoffs, and he felt that even though they did feel they passed the eyeball test, you never know because it's 1.5. Wow, my goodness. So expecting a tight game out in Pasadena. I myself have never been to the Rose Bowl, so I'm excited about that. He said he had a sleepless night. Even after that, when I get it, like the adrenaline is pumping. I mean, we've been pumping out content. We really never stopped since the game. And I didn't really have any anxiety. I just didn't like the way that ESPN actually did the playoffs, how they went 1, 2, 3, and then went to like 6 or something like that. I thought that was wrong how they did this. All right, let's go to the phone lines. And again, call line is open 205-850-1994. Let's start out with the 423. Hey, how you doing? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from? All right, let's see. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. All right, let's try that again. All right, you there? 423. Hey, what's up? How you doing? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from? Yeah, I appreciate you calling back in, man. Welcome to the show, man. Take it away. Mhm.
Believe.
All right. Okay, there we go. We got the audio fixed. I'm good. All right. I know that. What was your name again? Let's start over because we had a slight audio malfunction. What was your name?
Oh, my name's Sean. I go by Wookie Gremlin though in the comments.
All right. So what was your take? When you first heard that Alabama had made the playoffs, did you have a lot of anxiety? Did you think that they had maybe put Florida State in over Alabama?
I did, honestly. I thought they were going to sneak Florida in there because, I listen to you guys all the time
Yeah.
and Coach Smook. And I was listening about,
Mhm.
the ACC and the dude on the chairman, that Boo guy was, he's from the ACC. So I thought that they were going to just sneak him in there. But,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they did the right thing and put Alabama in there. So that's a good win for us.
Yeah. Look, uh, the thing about Florida State is when you compare the two resumes, and we talked about this a million different ways, they're living off the LSU win. And I think they said they're 2-0 against the SEC or something like that. It's like Alabama was 9-0 against the SEC. Plus, they beat the number one team in all of college football. So Florida State just wasn't the same team without Jordan Travis. And I don't even think with Jordan Travis, with Jordan Travis, they probably do get in the playoffs, but I still don't think that they were one of the best teams in college football. Now, this is the thing that's going to be frustrating if you're Florida State or if you're watching this Florida State game is if Georgia, okay, so if Florida State would have made the playoffs, okay, and they would have went off into the playoffs, they would have said, "Oh, well, we didn't have our quarterback, right?" And so whatever happens in the playoffs, whatever. But once Georgia beats Florida State, they're going to be like, "Oh, we didn't have our quarterback." You see what I'm saying? So like you didn't have your quarterback. So you're not the same type of team. You had a good season, but you play in the ACC. The ACC is not a good conference. Florida State, you tried to get out of the ACC. You have to do a better job to get out of there because you told everybody earlier that the ACC wasn't good, and then you got stuck in the ACC. You need to get out of there. Join the SEC or try to join a different conference because clearly that affected you. The SEC is built different, and Florida State would not have the same record regardless if Jordan Travis was playing if they played in the SEC 100%. That's a good football team. They have a really good quarterback and they have really good wide receivers, but they don't play the gauntlet of a schedule when you play in the ACC. They almost lost to Clemson. They almost lost to Boston College. They almost lost to Duke. So at the end of the day, they weren't a top 4 team. they have an opportunity to go play Georgia. Lock in, go play the Georgia Bulldogs. What else you got, man?
Not much, man. Are you going to the Rose Bowl though?
Yeah, I'll be out in Pasadena. Yeah, for sure. So I think the only games that
Oh,
I didn't
no.
go to, I didn't go to the Lexington one, and I didn't get creds for Auburn. So, but that was a weird one. But yeah, I will be out in
Okay.
Pasadena,
Well,
man. So I'm gonna go. My schedule's, it's always busy, but I'm gonna go to New Mexico. I'm gonna go see my family, and then I'm gonna fly out from Albuquerque to Pasadena. So I used to live in Los Angeles, so I'm excited to get back out that way. But I've never been to Pasadena. Anything else while I have you on the show?
nope. That's it, man.
All
Maybe
right,
AJ
man.
will call in.
Yeah, maybe you will. All right, man. Take it easy. See ya.
Yeah. Thanks. You
Later.
too. Bye.
All right, 205 up next right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Let's do it. Yo, man, what's up? I appreciate you calling in. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with and where are you calling in from?
This is Nick Carden from Birmingham, Alabama.
All right, Nick, I appreciate you calling in. Welcome to the show and Roll Tide, man. Go ahead. Take it away.
Man, I was born and raised in Alabama football. When, Georgia gave us no respect. I knew we could go in there and do it. I knew we matched Georgia good. And I knew they were vulnerable. And I just knew our defense, we come in there and played lights out, we could do it. And we did. And we dominated the game till right at the end. So the score don't really show what happened during the whole game. After the second quarter, we put it away pretty much. So, and then we took control. The first downs were great. Milroe was doing his thing. So I'm happy. I think we have going to wreak havoc now, and this college football playoff. I'm ready for Michigan.
Yeah, I think
Bama will be healthy.
One of the things that I wanted to ask everyone on the show tonight was, did you notice the defensive changes that Alabama made immediately against Georgia? And I ask you this because there was two specific times on the opening drive where Georgia was able to roll out in a bootleg and get the ball to Brock Bowers. Because outside of that, what else happened to Brock Bowers? Alabama did such a great job yesterday defensively on stopping Brock Bowers. And then I was thinking about this too, Nick. 3rd and short yesterday was fantastic for the Alabama defense.
Yeah, it was. I felt the same way. I saw them drop Brock Bowers for a loss. I said, oh, they are on. They're containing him.
Yeah.
I was like, he's not a factor in this game that they can keep this up. Georgia's going to have a long night without Brock Bowers.
Yeah.
And we wanted a healthy Georgia. We got it, and and now we're in, and I'm just ready to see them go now, because I think they're on a go switch, and this is exactly what college football was scared of, and they got it now.
You know what? I don't know if this is right. Sully just posted inside the comment box. And this is crazy because I was just talking about this an hour ago. And I didn't know this was going to happen. And I don't even know if this is true. Sully, is this true or not? Can we get confirming reports on this? But he's saying, Sully462 is saying inside the comment box, just read a report that Florida State lawmakers are looking at legal options of snubbing out Florida State by the committee. I don't know if that is true or not. I would love to find out if there is any legs to that. And the reason I say that is I could totally and this is what I said. I said this an hour ago. I said I wouldn't be surprised if Florida State, I can totally see that program doing something like this. I don't know why I was just talking about this, so I don't know if this is true or not, but I can totally see them creating some, tying this up in legality to where the playoffs get pushed back. I don't know. Hopefully this isn't true. I think they should just say, look, we didn't make it and that's it. Because guess what? If Florida State pushes this back and somehow they get into the playoffs or get pushed back, Georgia is going to beat the living you-know-what out of Florida State. And all of college football is going to – look, you didn't make something. Things didn't go your way. You do not complain about it. That's the number one thing in life. When things don't go your way, guess what you do? Next play. The next thing in life, because you cannot that you can't. I mean, try it. I mean, the older you get, the more that you realize that you can't control life. They didn't get in the playoffs. That's it. You didn't get in. Guess who didn't get in last year? Alabama.
We didn't. We didn't. And TCU,
Exactly.
Georgia just blew them out. We had
Yes.
to give them a game at least.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Nick. Well, I appreciate you calling in, man. Thank you for the support. Please call again anytime this week. It should be a fun week to talk more college football.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Kyle. You have a good day, man.
You too, buddy. All right. See you later. All right. We got a 731, I think. Let's see. Let's take that right now. Hey, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Hey, Kyle, it's Alex from Savannah, Tennessee.
Hey, what's up, Alex? I appreciate you calling in, man. Welcome to the show, man. What's on your mind? Take it away.
What a season. I'm happy we're in the playoffs. I'm just proud of this team.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this team has overcome adversity.
Mm-hmm.
They've overcome so much stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, and we dominated Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
We dominated the line of scrimmage. We held Brock Bowers to like 53 total yards.
Mm-hmm.
And we held him rushing to 78.
Jeez.
I mean, we just dominated. We just dominated them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's crazy. You know, everyone talks about how Georgia dominates every one of their opponents, but not us.
You know, that was the thing. Like, I knew that, number one, I felt that Alabama was going to beat Georgia. I just knew that the way that they matched up, I just knew that the way that they had confidence going into that game, and that was the true test. And everybody, look, the people are starting to talk about Alabama football again, and that was the only way was going to be able to beat Georgia. Georgia was riding a 29-game winning streak. Everything that Georgia has done up to this point has been really good. The way that Georgia was able to play on the back end, that was top football. And just like Jalen Milroe said last night, he was like, if you beat the number one team, what do you put us? Right? And I get it. They're not the number one today, and they're going to go out to Pasadena, where there's really, in the playoffs, there's no really home field. So it's just, it's the playoffs for what they are. The seedings are just kind of titles, but this team, they handled Georgia. And this is what it came down to. When you look back to this game, when you do your rewatch, Alabama didn't make mistakes in this game. Jalen Milroe was not going to make a mistake. Georgia made mistakes. Georgia missed a field goal. Georgia had a fumble. I cannot believe they ran a reverse, that trickery in the shadow of their own end zone. That's not good coaching. That was bad execution. So Alabama didn't make mistakes, and ultimately it came down and cost Georgia a seat at the playoff table and a shot to make the playoffs and win 3 in a row.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, how dominant Georgia has been. I will say they have been pretty dominant the past 2 years. We did not let them get ahead of us. Once they got the lead that one time and they got that touchdown,
Mm-hmm.
that was the last time they had the lead against us.
Mm-hmm.
We held our own. We got that last touchdown when we needed to.
Mm-hmm.
The momentum was starting to go on Georgia's side. They were starting to get closer to us, trying to pull a comeback. We shut that down.
Yeah.
Milroe did what he needed to do. He did not have the best game in the world, by no means.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was struggling a little bit, but he did what he had to do. And that's what matters.
I think so too. I mean, statistically, and I think accuracy-wise, it wasn't his best game overall, but he still put the team on his back in the fourth quarter, and that's what you do as a leader. That's what you do as a playmaker, is you're able to win games. I mean, you look at the last drive, he had 75-yard drive against Georgia's elite defense. He's able to lead the team down and ultimately put this game away. I thought he did a really good job using his legs, and I was talking about this earlier. He did a really good job in terms of his field awareness. I like to play towards the back end where he was running towards the sideline, and instead of going out of bounds or taking a big collision, he just slid down, and that's field awareness. And I think we're starting to continue to see that maturation of a quarterback, and he is clutch. I mean, this guy's totally stood up in a big time game, and I love their mindset. I like the fact that they're not afraid to come out and tell you what they feel like. Like Jalen Milroe last night, he's like, I got something to say. Like, it's just not coach speak. Like, these guys are really telling you how it is. I love it. and I'm all about it. Hey, if anybody could post a 49ers score in the Seahawks, you guys know I follow the 49ers, but in the Eagles. I mean, it's like the biggest game in all of the NFL. If you guys could post an update of the 49ers, I'd appreciate you guys. What else you got, Alex, when you look to this team and now headed out to the Rose Bowl?
Before I say that, I'd like to say I'm cheering for the Eagles, not the
What?
49ers.
Oh.
Okay. Just to say that I'm cheering for the Eagles, not the 49ers.
It's okay. Last I checked, 22-6, man. The Niners in Philly, one of the toughest places to win. And we got either 21. It's either 22-6 or 21-6. I'm gonna go with Jarvis's score. All right, thanks, Jarvis. I appreciate it. Okay, so Alex, we got you right now, but game's not over, and you got Jalen Hurts. Anything else as you look to Alabama and Michigan in terms of going to the Rose Bowl?
Well, I have a question for you actually. First,
Yeah.
How do you think the game's gonna go? Like score wise, stats wise, what do you think will happen?
Eagles just scored. Okay, so now it is 21-12. Yeah, I can't doubt Jalen Hurts. I mean, the Eagles are amazing. I think when I look to Alabama and Michigan, I think it comes down to a couple things. Michigan's defense is great, and when I watch them against Ohio State, a team that also has elite wide receivers, I think that they're physical, and they are much better than I thought they were going to be on the defensive side. So they're going to test Alabama's offense, and I think there's going to be some really good matchups between Alabama's wide receivers and Michigan's secondary. They have really good corners that are really physical. So then you look to Alabama's X factors, and of course we all know that's going to be Jalen Milroe, but you also look to the running backs. Will Jace be ready by that time? And if not, you have running backs behind him that can clearly carry the workload. I think a sleeper MVP for yesterday was Jam Miller, 100%. Thumbs up on this video if you agree on that, because Jam Miller, man, what a season. He's had a quiet, good season. And guess what? He's only a sophomore. He had a great season. I know Roy Dale was up at the podium, and we talked to him last night, but Jam Miller as well. That guy carried the rock. So if Alabama can use this balanced offense, and I still, honestly, I know the Heisman finalists will be announced on Monday, and who knows if, Jalen Milroe is going to be, headed to New York City to be among the finalists. But his story is not written, and it's kind of a travesty and it's unfortunate that the Heisman Trophy isn't decided after the season, because I think what he's about to do in these next two games is about to be next level type stuff, right, in college football in terms of taking over games. So it's going to be really difficult to prepare for Jalen Milroe, and I think that Alabama's defense specifically, I think they're going to make it really tough for Blake Corum to get yards. So then you look to J.J. McCarthy, the quarterback from Michigan. A really good quarterback. I think he's only lost one game as a starter. The guy played really well against Ohio State, and that tells me he's a big-time playmaker. And these guys will be ready. They have 3 weeks to prep for Alabama's defense. I think it comes down to this. Alabama's defense is so healthy. Man, these guys, out of all the years that I've covered Alabama, these guys are healthy. And, I know Kool-Aid went out, but you have guys stepping in, like Trey Amos stepped in last night, and I thought he played really well. So I think it comes down to Alabama's defense just being better than Michigan's offense. And I think the biggest X factor, once again, will be Jalen Milroe. I do like Alabama in this game to win this game, and I do like Texas big over Washington. It's hard to predict scores, but I honestly think that Texas is going to really beat Washington. I think they probably beat them by 17 points or more. Let me know what you think about that inside the comment box, everybody. Washington and Texas, who you taking? Just be plus 10 points, whatever. And I think a lot of people are going to say the Longhorns. Alex, I appreciate you calling in, man. Please call again next time, and we'll talk later.
Roll Tide.
All right, man. Roll Tide to you. All right. Let's see what we got here. Someone's saying this game is getting heated. No, of course the Niners and the Eagles are going to get heated. I mean, how could it not? This is a preview of the NFC West championship game, 100%. I mean, Brock Purdy, how he's been playing. I'm surprised. I mean, and he's wanted to get back at the Eagles because of what happened last year. He wasn't even able to play in this game. You had the 49ers fifth-string quarterback playing against the Eagles' ferocious defense. Look, the Eagles are an amazing football team, and I think, who knows? They could definitely win the whole thing. something, and I would love to see it. Honestly, even being a 49ers fan, I'm cool with it because I'm cool with Jalen Hurts. And the story about Jalen Hurts and how everybody also doubted him and Devontae Smith, how he never even said a word. He just goes out there and play. There's so many ballers on that team that are former Alabama players. Landon Dickerson. I mean, just to name a couple, Elias Ricks. Who else am I missing inside the comment box in terms of Alabama players that are playing for the Eagles? I think the 49ers only have one who is Cam Latu. But overall, I mean, these are the best teams in the NFC, probably overall. All right. Al is saying that he doesn't know about Texas totally drilling Washington. Texas secondary has some injuries. Washington might air it out. Who knows? I guess I'll have to kind of dive a little bit more into that, but I don't know. I just think that Texas, if Alabama isn't one of the hottest teams in college football, and I think they are, then I think Texas is also right there. And I just look, the fact that Washington's defense is ranked number 91 in the country, red flags all the way around. And I just don't buy that the Pac-12 defense at all. I just don't think it exists. Okay, we go back to the phone lines. We got a 256, and we're calling in 256. Let's do it. Hey, how's it going? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
What's up with you, man? This is Jay from Florence.
Jay, what's up, man? I appreciate you calling in from Florence, man. Welcome to the show, man. Take it away.
Man, it's been a long time, Cal. I wanted to take a couple weeks off. Well, I felt like all the playoff talk was. I felt like us even worrying about the playoffs was crazy, and I ain't want to be that guy. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, come on, man. When are you gonna leave the SEC champ out?
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't want to be that guy, but you know, I never was worried. I was worried about beating Georgia, but I wasn't worried about if we win the playoffs, we're not getting in. Come on, man. That just for you YouTube creators, Cal, y'all smart. Y'all did a little clickbait. Y'all got us right there.
Oh, I have a comment inside the comment box. Kyle, how do you feel about the SEC having 4 teams in the New Year's Six? I could get used to it because, I mean, this is what's coming with the 14 playoff, right? 100%. I mean, and I'm going to ask you guys inside the comment box, as of today, right now, at this very point in time, who wins between Missouri and Florida State? Who wins between Ole Miss and Florida State? Seriously, who wins between Ole Miss and Washington? I think that would be a great matchup. But Jay, what else, man? What were you thinking when Alabama was taking it to Georgia? Did you see this coming? Were you a little bit nervous? Did you have anxiety going into this game?
Here I go again, being that guy. But I was very confident, Cal. I put my money where my mouth is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So all my coworkers at work, I can't wait to see them Monday. I need you to pay that $50. I need you to pay that $50. Oh, you want to just bet a dub? Okay, I need you to come on with them $20, buddy. Because guess what? The whole world was against us, Cal. Mm-hmm. And anytime we go into a big game and the whole world against us, it's like, Nick got a plan for your ass.
100%. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
another one. I got to give a shout out to the offensive line, but definitely that man Caden Proctor. Yeah. See, we gave up a couple blitzes to number 11. He beat the guards. Caden Proctor ain't got beat in maybe like 3 or 4 games, guys. That young man is really. He making him some money, man.
Yeah.
He made his $1 million last night when he stopped them NFL ends and did that easily.
Mm-hmm.
Man, we got, man, this team, like you've been saying, Cal, this team, they young, man.
Yep.
So if they get this championship right here, I hate to say it, but y'all in trouble for a while, buddy.
Yeah.
Jahad Campbell got to come back next year, you know what I'm saying?
Man.
And we ain't even seen the other linebacker that he came in the recruit class with, right?
Mm-hmm.
Damian Payne. Man, these guys ain't nothing but sophomores.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we gonna lose Arnold and Kool-Aid. But Trey Amos, I've been telling you, Cal.
Yep.
I called it and told you. I said, that man is a first rounder.
Yep.
And guess what he did last night? He played like a first rounder.
He did.
I said, we got 3 first rounders on our team. And one of them, he got hurt, and one stepped up real big. As soon as they tried him, what did he do?
Mm-hmm.
He made a play. That's all we can ask for, man. Mm-hmm. I kept hollering transfer portal activate every time I see him. Activate transport partner. That's what I'm talking about. Well, man, I ain't want no cow. I just want to say, hey, man, you looking good over there, cow. My man, you got me ready to go throw some clothes on, go catch me a little shindig or something, man. Roll Tide, baby.
Roll Tide too, man. Thanks for calling in, Jay. I appreciate you, man. All right, that was Jay out in Florence. I appreciate you calling in. Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe. I appreciate you guys being here. I'm still in the ATL. I mean, I have my office set up here. I wanted to, make sure all the content was uploaded. And I hope you guys are definitely checking it out because I really appreciate you guys. Put a lot into the YouTube channel and just 3,000 subs away from 100,000 subscribers right here on Bama Football on YouTube. You guys have your full-time gig. I have mine. You guys know I pour a lot into this, and I really appreciate you guys' continued support. So thank you for supporting me throughout this season. I own the YouTube channel 100%, and, I put 100% into it, probably more. But I'm all about it, man. I'm all about the work. All right, we go to a 615, and we do it right now. All right, thanks for calling in. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who are we on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Kyle, what's up, man? This is David from Nashville. How's it going?
Hey, what's up, David? I appreciate you calling in, man. Welcome to the show.
Hey, man. Yeah, I'm not as entertaining as Jay. His delivery kills me, man. He just cracks me up. I could. So I have a question. Who do you think other than some of the obvious players, right? Isaiah Bond, Jalen Milroe, who do you think was the standout player from last night? I'm going to maybe say Jaden Roberts or Booker. Roberts or Booker, one of the guards.
Man, you know what? So Cole Kublik, everybody knows him, right? He breaks down offensive line film. I think he does some work with some high level, like CBS, and I think he even has his own YouTube channel. I think that he pinpointed Jaden Roberts throwing a couple of Georgia guys like 3-5 yards.
Brutal.
Man, where was this guy at the beginning of the season, right? Because we weren't even really expecting him to really kind of rise up and to see the growth of him. I think you're right. When you look to underrated players this season, he's got to win that award. I mean, the guy is like the Hulk. That YouTube video with Roydell Williams talking about him is awesome. He just had plates on plates. I said this earlier in the show. I think for me yesterday, my MVP besides Jalen Milroe, like outside of the MVPs, is probably going to be Jam Miller. Jam Miller is a running back that is dependable. He's strong. He can run between the tackles. Alabama's running backs, man, they're really durable. And I know you're missing out, Jason. Is a gauntlet of a season. I can't believe it's taken this long of a season for a running back to miss a game, right? So Roydell comes in, and then you have Jam Miller. Jam Miller catches a touchdown pass from the backfield. He's a really good running back, and we haven't even really seen Justice Haynes that much yet. So those are going to be your running backs next year is Jam Miller and Justice Haynes and Richard Young. So I do like those guys. I think on the defensive side, I thought it was great to see Trez Marshall come up with the fumble recovery. How fitting was that against your former team, you come up with the fumble recovery? So you look to former Georgia Bulldog players making plays in this game for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Jermaine Burton caught a touchdown on the other side. Look, Jermaine Burton, so check this out. We are all supposed to listen to Jermaine Burton at the podium yesterday. So after Coach Saban spoke to the media, you went into this room. I mean, it's a really tight room, and they had 4 seats, and you kind of like get around. It's a scrum, and you just like hold out your camera and your microphone and stuff. And it said Jermaine Burton. So literally, like 50 people went. I'm serious. It's like a scrum, like 50 people around a table, just waiting for Jermaine Burton. Never came. We waited there. Never came. They came. They took the name. They take the name tag out, and they're like, Jermaine Burton, you don't want to talk. So, and then they put Isaiah Bond's name tag, and then he came out and he talked to us. So, and I'm sure everybody saw what Jermaine Burton. Yeah. So, but the thing is, like Jermaine Burton, he's living different right now. Like, I think the thing with him, he just gives 0 Fs. He rattle shot win against Georgia. And I think he's really pissed off about last year, and he's still living with that chip on his shoulder. The guy has wanted to prove, right?
Oh, yeah, sorry. No, I was going to say, I thought he did a really good job keeping his composure last night. I I thought at any moment I was like, all right, there's a penalty coming, which I can't take hold of. There was another show I heard they were having an over-under on how many unsportsmanlike conduct penalties he was going to have. And I thought he really I thought he kept it together really well considering the circumstances. I didn't know what was going to happen. But he was awesome, man. But I have a thought, and I wanted to run this by you. As far as the whole playoff thing, look, I feel really bad for Florida State. Mm-hmm. But the one thing that I cannot listen to is everybody keeps talking about best versus most deserving, or what you did on the field has to matter. Why do we play the games? Like, these are all the things I hear about Florida State. Well, what you did on the field, does that not matter? And what cracks me up is I'm like, we act like, and Joey Calloway actually made this point, credit him. Mm-hmm. We act like Alabama didn't play games. Like, we just act like, I'm like, Alabama isn't deserving at all. Like, they just act like Alabama. Well, they didn't play any games on the field. I'm like, no one's saying that what happens on the field doesn't matter. You know what happened on the field? We beat Georgia. You know what happened on the field? We had 4 wins versus top 25 teams. You know what happened on the field? We went undefeated. We also won a conference championship. Yep. We also have a championship level defense. We also have a lot of the same. We also have a win against LSU. It's not like there's all these metrics that Alabama on the field is just as qualified as Florida State, but we cherry pick this one single thing and just hang it on the wall and say that's the one reason why Florida State should be in over Alabama, because look at what they did on the field. As if Alabama didn't play games on the field too. Yeah, it is infuriating to me.
Yeah, I know. I think the thing is Alabama is held to a different standard, right? They're supposed to beat They're supposed to beat Georgia. There's no other team that's supposed to beat Georgia that even exists on the college football map, right? And Alabama is able to do that. And the crazy thing is Atlanta is 45 minutes away from Athens. I mean, this place is the home of Georgia, and they come over here and they're able to beat the Bulldogs, who are riding a 29-game winning streak. That Georgia team, it's tough for people to understand how good that team was, because Alabama dominated them. I know Georgia made a run in the back end, but it was a convincing win for Alabama. I mean, Georgia made mistakes in that game, and I think Georgia had that late touchdown, but then Jalen Milroe drives down the field and puts another touchdown on the board. Alabama controlled this game after the defense made some adjustments, and like Michael is saying inside the comment box, ACC is weak 100%, and that's also what it came down to. I think when you look at the end of the day and you look to the resumes, you saw that Florida State is shining, right? 13-0. But did you watch that game? Did you watch the Louisville and Florida State game? Oh my!
I tried to watch it. I couldn't.
Man, you know what? I honestly feel that my New Mexico State Aggies are probably fare better than Louisville. Like them versus Louisville, that'd be an interesting game. I wasn't impressed at all with Louisville. And guess what? And I keep saying that. I'm going to keep saying it again. The week before that, Kentucky beat Louisville. Where's Kentucky at?
Kentucky.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, so that game last night, it was bad. And one thing that I'm scared of, and I never got confirmation, and I hope this isn't true. Someone said in the comment box that Florida State was looking into digging up, with some lawyers to somehow put some litigation around this college football playoffs because they didn't get in. I don't know if that's true. I wouldn't put it past them, but I really hope that that's not true. And I hope they just look tomorrow we focus on Georgia. That's our opportunity to finish 14-0, and that's it. Can you imagine if they finish 14-0? They will literally and I'm not – it's going to seem like I'm picking on Florida State now, but the last team to do that was also in Florida. Remember when Central Florida, they won, and they had a parade? And they even had banners on their stadium that said national champions. It was
we'll never hear the end of it. But I love that the bowl game is Florida State versus Georgia. Yeah. Gosh, that makes me so happy, because I'm like, okay, you think you deserve to get in? Yeah. Here you go. Here's Georgia.
And see,
let's see. Now, look, if they go out and they beat Georgia, then they've got all the room in the world to talk. But I'm not expecting that to happen.
Well, this is going to be the challenge.
It'll be confirmed the other way.
This is going to be the challenge for Mike Norvell and for Florida State is the way that they handled it when they didn't get in and they make this whole fuss. Because guess what that's going to do to his players? That is like now his players are going to have a bad attitude about the playoffs. Tomorrow is the transfer portal Monday, right? Monday is going to be a transfer portal Monday, and you're going to see players. Why should we play the game? That's what they said. They said, why should we play the game? You play the game to win, regardless. And this playoff setup that we have in college football, it's ridiculous. It's terrible. This is one of the most loved sports that exists on this planet, and it's determined by 13 people in a room. It's a terrible setup. But if you're Florida State, you don't throw it away. You still go out and you play Georgia. But keeping those players locked in is going to be really challenging because they're making it a big deal about it. I would have said no big deal. We'll go prove it against Georgia. Let's go.
Yeah,
you keep that stuff internal, but you don't.
Say,
whatever. But anything else related?
I feel bad for him, and I feel bad for Jordan Travis, but I don't know. I don't.
Yeah.
But I guess what irritates me is the fact that it's just so inconceivable. People act like the people that are for Florida State are acting like it is just the most logically inconceivable thing of all time, and I'm like, it's really not that unreasonable. Like, you can say, I have no problem if you say you disagree with it, but you can't sit there and just declare that it's just wildly unreasonable as if the problem is they're acting like the debate was between Georgia and Florida State.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Georgia did not win the conference championship.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if it was Georgia versus Florida State, that is the conversation that would have people absolutely up in arms and if Georgia got in. But they're acting like it's the same conversation whether it was Georgia or Alabama. And that's not true. You're talking about two conference champions debating one another.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
Yeah, it's really not. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you calling in. Call again sometime this week, man. Enjoy talking college football with you.
Yeah, man. You too, always.
All right, man. See ya. All right. We have a 502, a 503, and a 251. Looks like we got Demetrius on as well. 502, actually, let's take an 863 just joined. All right, Demetrius, you ready? Let's do it, man. Hey, Demetrius, what's up, man? I appreciate you waiting online, man. Thanks for being patient, man. Let's get to it. Welcome to the show.
Oh, roll tide. How you doing there, Kyle?
I'm doing good, man. Yeah.
Family?
Yeah, what's up, man? What's on your mind as we kind of recap the Georgia game, and then we turn to the Rose Bowl. Appreciate the super chat. Hold on. Roll Tide, by the way, I love how you bring the coaches in. They're doing a great job building your brand. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. The coaches do a really good job. Coach Smoot, Coach Sean, Coach Jarek. Love those guys. They have a really good show, so I appreciate you guys supporting them. Demetrius, go ahead, man.
Yeah, and by the way, Kyle, guess who was leading that Central Florida National Championship thing? Oh, Josh Heupel up there in Knoxville. I mean, really, come on, dude. But anyway, man, like Ric Flair said, I'm going to say it again. To be the man, you got to beat the man.
Yep.
We live rent-free in college football here.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is. I mean,
mm-hmm.
And shout out to the tight end group. You know, they pointed it out. I played tight end in high school,
mm-hmm.
especially Oops. You know, he don't get a lot of credit.
Yeah.
Like the coaches said, they don't. Yeah, Jalen missed them when he's doing this checkoffs. You know, going through his progressions. You know, easy 5 yards can be picked up by hitting the tight end. You know, and now Black can pick up on his blocking skills a little bit better, but Oops, you know, I love that young man. I love it. And to be honest with you, Kyle, I believe we just should be a 3-team playoff if possible because Georgia, Texas, and Alabama are the best teams in the country. The rest of them play in the cupcake conferences, don't play nobody. Kyle Henderson University can, you know, they can go play up against them, and you know they'll run them out the stadium. But Kyle Henderson University come up against Alabama and put up a good game. And let's not kid ourselves. I mean, the playoff committee, I think they done the right thing. You know, we don't want to see no TCU 2.0 out here with Florida State. And it wouldn't shock me if the legislation in Florida want to come out here and do some political grandstanding for Florida State after they done publicly said they don't want to be a part of the ACC. We too good, and well, you must not be too good. I mean, you didn't get picked for nothing. I mean, but back to the game though. This is a coaching clinic. You have the right continuity of coaches there this time around. No injuries. You know, we got a couple people banged up, but no injuries like in 2021. You got the team playing at a level, and it's moving forward to the playoffs. You know, it's one of them teams with Michigan that it fits into the mold of who we want to play.
Mm.
They ain't got no real dynamic trickery offense. I mean, it's been a lot of commentators talking about it.
Yeah.
I mean, they might pull a few tricks out the bag, but this is the team we made for.
Yeah.
Like Georgia, we made it, man. Let's man up. Let's see who can do the best.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're not going to out scheme Nick Saban. Out of 10 times, you might out scheme him once.
Mm-hmm.
No, but then again, you know, even Michigan could have some film on Alabama. I doubt it, because, you know, considering how we done progressed throughout the year, we don't know what to look for. Jalen he could beat you with his arm, beat you with his legs, you know. Defense, I mean, each game by game, we're getting back to the old Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
We're rolling in different players, they stepping up. So I'm proud of them young men. I mean, it does my heart good as a fan base. The ones of us that have stood behind the team. Do I think Jalen can get better? Yes, he can progress even more than what he is.
Mm-hmm.
But as a team as a whole, hey, I believe you mentioned this. I'm gonna say this and go. You mentioned it earlier
Mm-hmm.
in the year. Is Nick Saban treating the Jalen Miro situation a little bit different than Jalen Hurts, because it was one read and go with Jalen Hurts.
Mm.
That's it. That's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
But if he had turned him in a little bit better quarterback, you know, the running back got hurt in the championship game. He messed up his knee after he ran that touchdown. I forgot his name. It slipped my mind. And, you know, Clemson started pushing. They pushed their 8 men in the box up even further, because they knew that at the game, and it's a coaching clinic. I mean, in college, and we all need to sit back in awe. I mean, Bear Bryant was before my time. I was born, but we're in awe as a fan base to have this type of coaching. I know no other team can say that. And Roll Tide, I'm gonna let you get on. I mean, other people want to get on here and make their little comments, and I'm gonna call, you know, of course, call in on some other call-in shows all during the week. You know, I'm gonna sit back and get on YouTube and listen to the rest of the commentary there.
All right, man. Appreciate it, Demetrius. Thank you so much. I think the biggest point that Demetrius hit up is the fact that you have Coach Saban and the job that he's done. Because, I mean, you keep receipts and you go back to the fact to where there was a lot of people calling for Coach Saban, right? And calling for him that he had lost his fastball and all sorts of stuff. And, man, it's just like, no, like this job, he might be – and this is crazy. And I think I said this last year, but somebody said that Saban is about to, like, peak. Like now, which is crazy, because you're like, wait, he's already done all this stuff. But this year, and I get it, he said that he was tired, and who wouldn't be? I mean, after, you know, all of, you know, this season has caused a lot of anxiety and a wave of emotions. But, man, Saban, he does it with this team. I mean, he's very close to another national title. That would be remarkable. And you look to what Alabama has next year. But Saban was saying, and if you listen to the press conference, the opening comments from Jim Harbaugh and from Nick Saban, I just posted that on the YouTube channel. He said that tomorrow he's going to be in his office all day. So Coach Saban, he gets to the office at 7 a.m. I'm not exaggerating, and he leaves at 7 p.m. Honestly, every single day, Monday through Thursday. Friday is different because it's a walkthrough, but still similar time frames because he might be traveling or whatever. And this is during the season. So tomorrow, because tomorrow is a transfer portal, and it opens up like officially. So you're about to see it's going to be bananas tomorrow. In terms of names that are going out. But Coach Saban, he's saying that he is staying in his office all day and he has his door open to players that want to come and talk about, players that are transitioning, whether it's, they want to understand where they are from an NFL standpoint, or even about maybe future playing time or whatever it may be. But the thing about it is this is part of, the world that we live in, the transfer portal, and it's part of the organizational process that we now live in, and players can go to different places. I mean, you heard the Nebraska coach saying that a good quarterback at this level is $1.5 to $2 million. But I think it's wise to stay at Alabama. You got to be able to cultivate yourself somewhere. You got to be able to grow somewhere. Why not under Nick Saban? Why not under that coaching staff? You look to guys that have currently sat and to wait their turn and how they've developed. Chris Broswell is a great example. I mean, he could have went somewhere else. He waited behind William Anderson, and look at the season that he's having now. I think it's tough for quarterbacks because there's only one quarterback that can be on the field. It's got to be tough for Ty Simpson, whose dad is the football coach at UT Martin. It's got to be tough for Dylan Lonergan, who's a very talented quarterback. It's got to be tough for Eli Holsting or, the other quarterbacks on the roster because, you want to play. But, there's good things come when you wait. So I think down the line, especially at that quarterback position, I mean, Jalen Milroe is coming back next year. There was a large majority that felt he was going to leave. He's only a redshirt sophomore. And obviously we know, and he even says it himself, his game is not complete yet. Imagine how talented he's going to be by the end of next season at this point in time. My point is, the quarterback position is going to be very, after Jalen Milroe leaves, all the quarterbacks that are behind him. But the job that Nick Saban's done overall and working through the transfer portal and kind of evolving with the times has been really, really remarkable. He said that he was dancing with the team last night. He's having fun. Everybody's a little bit tired during this time, but the guy continues to perform at such a high level. I mean, this is the greatest college football coach ever. It won't be duplicated. And that's fine. I mean, we're living to that's why I said a long time ago, I was like, look, enjoy it. Enjoy this run because what he's doing is really amazing. All right, 251, let's get it. All right, welcome to the show. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with and where are you calling in from?
What's going on, Kyle? This is Brian from Groveville, Alabama, a.k.a. stays at Hattiesburg, Mississippi. I called you last week about this game against Georgia.
Yeah, welcome to the show, man. I appreciate you calling in. Thanks for calling back. What was your thoughts? I mean, because Alabama, they had to – this is a playoff play-in game. Clearly we know that. The winner of this game was getting into the playoffs. Alabama, a touchdown underdog, goes into the game. They're able to beat Kirby Smart. What was your takeaway when you look to this game and have had, some hours now to think about Alabama defeating Georgia in the Mercedes Stadium?
First off, man, I know, my friends from Georgia, my Georgia brothers that are diehard Georgia fans, man, they were very respectful. They congratulated me. Those that I would have gone off on them if I wanted to, but I did not because I respect them and they looked out for a brother like me. But all that said and done, those Georgia fans, they know who they are. It's not about y'all. It's about those other Georgia fans. Now, like I said last week, Alabama shadow still looms over the city of Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
It still looms. We still own you. Alabama still has not been beaten in the SEC championship.
Mm-hmm.
Now, all those Georgia fans now, where are you?
Mm-hmm.
Where are you now?
Mm-hmm.
Where's that talk y'all talked about week after week, after week, after week, after week? Since the Texas game, they ran us off, Kyle. We didn't supposed to be here. They want to say Saban want to retire. Now, where are y'all? Talked about Miro. And Miro, man, what growth that young man did over the past this season.
Mm-hmm.
I'm proud of that guy, man. They doubted him. Only thing I said about Miro was his problem was in the beginning of the season, he runs and stops and runs again like he don't know when to run or throw the ball. That man now is playing like a. I'm not gonna say he ain't at his mystique yet, but he's rising, he's climbing. He's not there yet, but you see the maturity of this young man.
Mm-hmm.
Not just Miro that grew up.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle, the offense line, bro. Give them a bow, bro. Cause my Lord, man, that was the weakness of that team.
Mm-hmm.
Kalen Proctor, my God, he grew up.
Mm-hmm.
All the other guys, man, that grew up, now they finna be real monsters.
Mm-hmm.
Remember back in 2012, man, they called the offensive line the Big Uglies. I think they are going to make a return because those monsters on the front is going to be a problem. And one more thing, and this will happen, and I'm going to go back to Auburn, back to the Auburn game back in 2021. It's this exact resemblance that what happened 2 years ago. Auburn had went toe-to-toe with Alabama that year. Mm-hmm. We struggled against it. Bryce Young bailed us out and set up the overtime. Mm-hmm. The next game, Alabama dominated that powerful Georgia defense. Mm-hmm. 2 years later, same problem. Mm-hmm. The nightmare of Jordan Hare, the grave digger. Same thing. Auburn played their tail off. Everybody, Georgia fans, those same Georgia fans said that same garbage.
Yeah.
But now, went to our home away from home, went over there, and beat the number one team once again. Mm-hmm. But it could have been a whole lot worse.
Yeah.
That score, that don't even seem like that's supposed to be the score. Alabama toyed with them boys.
Yeah.
It was a man, and kudos to those former Georgia Bulldogs. Jermaine Burton sticking it to his former team. Tresman Marshall sticking it to his former team, getting that fumble.
Yep.
Man, if I was there, that made them feel. That felt good. I know they was feeling good. That felt good for those men. Those ain't boys. Those grown men. Mm-hmm. Those boys play like men. Mm-hmm. Those boys, I know they are so happy to stick it to their former team. Mm-hmm. And the last thing, man, on honesty, bro, this was not a powerful Alabama team. This was a spiritual, special team. Mm-hmm. Nick Saban coached with a red eye one game. Nick Saban, this is probably the best year this man have coached since he been in Alabama. And he coached a hell of a lot of Alabama teams.
Yeah.
This is, man, please, I promise you, man, Kyle, please, bro. Coach Saban got to be coach of the year. I don't care, man.
I said coach of the eternity on another show that I had. It was crazy. But wait, before you go, let me hit on this point, that red eye. Okay, you guys, all right, how many of you are old enough to remember Terminator 2? Remember? The Rise of the Machines?
Schwarzenegger.
Exactly.
Judgment Day, that's my favorite Terminator
exactly.
movie.
And you remember when the Terminator has that red eye in the preview? That's exactly what Coach looked like. And it was also kind of similar to what William Anderson was. So I'm starting to think that William Anderson was the Terminator, and then somehow it transformed to Nick Saban or something like that, because that was right. You see what I'm saying? Like he gave
the Terminator,
because they were saying
that was a good linebacker.
Oh my goodness, man! I mean, but how about Broswell and Turner? And the great thing about last night was they made Carson Beck uncomfortable. How many times? So in the Mercedes Stadium where the media sits is way up, kind of on the back of the end zone, opposite side of where 2nd and 26 happened, right? So I guess that'd be the right corner, and you're way up there. But what I was noticing is the fact that they were able to, they hit Carson Beck a couple times hard, like really hard. Dallas Turner hit him. Chris Brazo hit him one time in the end zone and made him uncomfortable. You had to do that. And, Beck made some good plays. That's a really good quarterback. I got to move to my next caller, man, but I appreciate you joining me. Please call again next time. I appreciate your input in the show.
Kyle, the hunt is not over.
That's right.
Now we got Michigan.
Yeah.
It's time to go to work.
That's it.
Roll Tide, guys. God bless y'all. Y'all be safe, man.
All right, man. Take it easy. So one of my favorite lines, I'm telling you, the 49ers are for real, ferocious. Brock Purdy, monster. Okay, listen. Luke is saying we got New Mexico State, my Aggies taking on Fresno State. All right, in the Isleta Bowl. Let's go. Come on, Aggies. Let's do it. I asked Isaiah Bond last night, and one of my favorite lines in all of sports is like, I think it was Kobe, right? Kobe goes up, 2-0 or something like that in the finals, and they're like, why aren't you happy? He's like, job's not done. Job's not finished. You haven't won. You haven't won anything. And if you're Alabama, what have you won, right? Is it fun to beat Georgia? Is it fun to win the SEC championship? Yeah, it's 24-hour rule. But tomorrow you get back to work. You haven't won anything. SEC champs, Alabama, I've said this before. If you haven't been to Alabama's football locker room, it's really cool. So they have a pyramid, right? And it has all the games that are stacked, and it has goals. At the top is the national championship game. Underneath that is the bowl game. Underneath that is the SEC championship. Underneath that is the SEC West. Underneath that is to go undefeated against SEC teams. So Alabama is continuing to climb that pyramid. Job's not finished. Just like Kobe said, job's not done. Right? So they got to get back to work. And, this is funny. Solely, I appreciate it, man. David Pollock. All right. Look, he said, this was one of the craziest takes is he said that. Oh, man. Okay, look, I don't have as big a platform as him. And he, played at the highest level, and he's a Georgia guy. I get it. But he said that that Kirby Smart was a better coach than Nick Saban. I was like, oh man, can't do that. Can't say stuff like that. Because first of all, we all know that that's not true. It's not even close to being true. I mean, like Kirby Smart is a better coach than Steve Sarkisian, I guess. I don't know, but you can't say Nick Saban. Are you kidding me? Like, no way, no how. Not right now. And especially after the season that Coach Saban has been having with his team. Like, there's no way that wasn't a good take, because Nick Saban, this coaching job has been crazy this year. Best coaching job maybe that Saban's ever had. It's always hard to compare different years. 502, I appreciate you being patient. Let's get it. Hey, thanks for calling in. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
John from Kentucky.
John, what's up, man? I appreciate you calling in, man. Welcome to the show. Take it away.
Thanks for taking my call. This team has, first of all, Roll Tide, and I think that Milrose should be getting a plane ticket or jet ticket to go to New York where they give out the Heisman, because that's the kind of job he's done this year. I don't believe he should be left out of that. He should be at least mentioned, but anyway, I know Daniels will probably get it, but the one guy that does everything to get your team to the highest place, that's who gets recognized, not with a 3-year loss. But anyway, I want to talk about the past. But first of all, 292. That's how many wins Coach Saban has. He's chasing Bear Bryant. And whether he admits it or not, but he's 323. But he's chasing Bear Bryant. And when he gets there, I don't know what he's going to do. But then he'll probably say, well, I got to go out 3-4 more years in me. But nobody has recruited at a higher level than Nick Saban has. And in the NIL deal with the NIL and the transfer portal, he just reloads. And he's got all these freshmen all coming together. We've seen this in 18 when Leatherwood and Najee Harris and Smith and all those guys came together, and it reminds me of that team a little bit. Except for this team, it's got so much love for one another that you could see it through the years, through the whole year, through the season. As each game they played, they got a little bit better, until we seen them come out and just throttle Mississippi. We thought of Mississippi, and I'm like, oh, this is a good defense. And then, slowly, while the defense picked up the slack, our offensive line came along, and man, we've been healthy. We've been so bad in the past with the injuries we had. This team's healthy. Michigan's going to have to play a healthy Alabama team. They don't even know what they're getting ready to look at, because they're not going to have any fun with this team at all. And I'll say one more thing about all this. We don't have to play Georgia again, because that is a good, hard-nosed football. And I take nothing away from them. They might have been banged up a little bit. I'm glad we didn't have to play Bowers and McConkey when they were healthy. They got a good football team. And you don't want to have to – I would not want to be Florida State playing that team during the bowl game if they got everybody, playing. But thanks for taking my call, and roll tide, and I'm glad to be in the playoffs. And, just thank you.
I appreciate you, man. Thanks for calling in, man. Thanks for being patient, too. 502 from Kentucky, man. Appreciate it. I think, it's amazing. So one of the things that I want you guys to be on the lookout for tomorrow, and I don't have any real insight onto which players that are going to enter the transfer portal. I would assume there is going to be some. I just think it's the world that we live in. Are these going to be marquee players? Probably not, but this is the world that we live in. So that's what takes place on Monday. So all throughout the day, there's going to be news. I'm not saying from Alabama football. I'm just saying in general in college football. So that's what's coming on Monday. Also, you have on Monday, the finalists for the Heisman Trophy will be announced. And just like our last caller said, the job that Jalen Milroe has done this year has been really phenomenal in terms of growth and leadership. And I think that the Heisman Trophy is about style points more than the overall. That's an award is like most deserving, right? And that's like in terms of like the playoffs, because who is the most deserving, right? Who transformed their team. But I think on paper like style points, it's probably going to go up to Is Bo Nix still the favorite? Jarvis, if you're still on, man, who's the favorite right now? I think it might be Bo Nix, because before he played Washington, I think he was like a minus 110 to win the Heisman, which meant basically that he was walking away with it according to Vegas. I'm sure that's changed after that Washington game. I haven't even checked it, to be honest. I would imagine that Jalen Milroe is like plus 700. That means kind of like a mid-range opportunity to win the Heisman Trophy. Who knows? Jalen Milroe certainly should be up for the award. And Coach Saban even addressed that today. He said his name should be mentioned in that conversation just based off the job that he's done. 503, I appreciate you being patient. All right, good evening. Thanks for calling. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
I'm calling in from Anaheim, California.
All right, Anaheim.
I'm an Alabama resident, lived there for a number of years, and moved out here about, 30 years ago.
What was, and I'm sorry, I missed your name.
What's that?
I missed your name.
Jim.
All right, Jim. Jim from Anaheim. I appreciate it. I used to live in Los Angeles myself. I used to live in Redondo Beach. I'm excited about going out to
that's cool.
going out to Pasadena. But anyways, man, welcome to the show. Thank you very much for calling, man. Take it away.
I just happened to just was really going in yesterday with a lot of anxiety. I was wondering how the game was going. In my heart of hearts, I knew they were going to pull it out, and I said what the difference maker was going to be was Jalen Milroe. And I had a feeling that Jermaine Burton was going to ball out.
Yeah.
And I just felt like our defense is something that nobody's seen all year, and the job that Kevin Steele has done with those guys has been something that we've been missing for so long.
Yeah,
I wish we'd had him 2 years ago. We'd have probably had another couple of championships on our shelf, because there's a 9-day difference between Kevin Steele and what's his name? I even forgot his name already.
Pete
Goldberg. Go.
No, wait,
I've already forgot about it.
That's a great point, because the thing about it is, and I'd like to everybody's comments right now inside the comment box. Can you see the difference between the defense from last year to this year?
Oh my gosh!
Oh my goodness!
Night and day.
And the great thing about this defense is how quick they're able to make adjustments. Last night, if they didn't make adjustments quickly on the fly against Brock Bowers, I don't know. He eats, and so does that Georgia team. They did a great job, and they're able to do that in the second half all season long. But the ability to make an immediate change early in that first quarter, that second quarter, and to keep that momentum with the defense coming up with big plays, I thought was fantastic. But you can see a tremendous. That's why in the Broyles Award, I was so surprised that it was Tommy Rees's name up there. And look, he's done a great job on the back end, but overall, Kevin Still has really brought this defense back. And when he said at the beginning, he was like, at the beginning of the season, because we get one opportunity to talk to the OC and the DC, he said, look, the Bama standard never went away. He was like, it might have changed, but it didn't go away. That defense is back, and that's why they've been so consistent, the defense.
So the thing I couldn't believe, like last year, they were dropping Will Anderson back into coverage on some plays, and I'm like, what is he doing? He's a pass rusher. And that was blowing my mind. And the stuff the signs of Pete Goldenpan up there, there's more pressure on the quarterback this year than I've seen in the last couple of years. And it's just been a joy to watch. And especially the defensive backs, there's some of the plays that Troy Amos made last night, that Terrion Arnold, who's one of my favorites. And I just really, because every time, just to me and my friend, we always Skype when we're watching the games and see Alabama break up a pass, we're waiting for a flag. Every single time. I mean, just holding our breath. And I didn't really see it that much last night, which was great to see. Because some of those, a lot of those, when they contested passes during the game, and they were clean. And that was just the first time I've seen that. And I think a lot of times the referees were letting them play, which was great to see. And I'm just all excited. Me and my wife are going to go to the game. I got my tickets this afternoon. I'm all psyched up. The last time I was at the Rose Bowl when Alabama beat Texas in 2009, and I'm just really excited. 2010, sorry. And it was the last time we went, and I think we're sitting in the same section we were the last time we were there.
So, Jim, walk me through the setup at the Rose Bowl, because from my understanding, and again, I used to live in Los Angeles. I just never made it out to Pasadena. So I heard what I understand that it's kind of in a neighborhood. Is that correct? I mean, kind of give me the skinny on the Rose Bowl.
It's kind of like in downtown. It's kind of in downtown areas.
Okay.
And man, I haven't been back over there since I've been to the Rose Bowl. I've been to LA maybe once or twice. I don't go to LA. I live in Orange County. Yeah. I avoid LA whenever I can.
Of course, yeah.
I've been to a couple of Laker games, but it's kind of it's very different. It's an age. It's been there since like the 1920s or something like that. And there is this grand entrance, but the problem is a lot of times trying to get into this, the fans trying to get in the stadium, it gets really clogged up. If I remember that correctly. And it's not like modern day stadiums where they have like a lot of wide areas where people can go. Sometimes part of the areas are very tight, and it's really it goes how old probably back in the 20s, still no season. I don't think it's been really that much updated from what I remember. But you actually news from somebody that was there like almost going to be 13, 14 years ago. I was just so excited when I went down Alabama 1. The funny thing about that was that we were on the Texas side that night. My wife said to me, "She about to ride Texas?" Yeah, sure, don't worry about it. And I found out we were on the Texas side. And it was just like, I was just so just enamored about what was going on. That was the first championship game I ever been to. And we're sitting over there, all these Texas fans around us, and they were great. I mean, Texas fans were great. And but really remembering exactly the setup that place was, I just remember a lot of the areas when you go in and out, it's very tight. It's a little bit almost. Remember, Legion Field.
Yep, of course.
It's kind of that narrowness that you have in Legion Field. It's kind of like that anyway, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong. Like I said, a long time ago, but it's in outside the city of Pasadena, right in the city. It's up on top of the hill, if I remember. But it's really cool. But it's just all straight down. Just all the way straight down, just no upper level or anything.
I got you.
And
Okay, give me your. I have to ask you before I get to my before I get to my next caller. Give me your quick assessment on this Rose Bowl game. You think that Alabama is able to take care of Michigan? I mean, I think that Michigan is a slight favorite in this game, but what's your quick assessment of this game?
I think that I hate to jinx myself. I think with Michigan's going to see something that they haven't seen before.
Yeah.
They have not dealt with a dual threat quarterback like Jalen Milroe. The pressure. I mean, Michigan's good.
Yep.
I give them all hands out. But my interesting in the storyline on this whole thing is the whole science thing of how Harbaugh has been. He said, "It's a Michigan bet on us." You know, they're thinking they're sending a message that we're going to win everything. Michigan people are cocky. I mean, I've dealt with enough of them. They're all about, oh yeah, we're going to win everything, and then they never show up. They finally got there. I have a friend who's a Michigan fan. No, we're going to beat you. And I said, okay, what's it? So I just think for that game against the South, it's going to be in the trenches, and their offense is still kind of, like old-fashioned, I guess you'd say. We're using a fullback or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I don't think they have the passing attack like Alabama does and the receivers. I really don't. And Jalen Milroe can get out of that pocket, and they got speed like that, and see the speed from having the defenders. They've got some good players. They've got. I just feel like it's going to be war, and it's going to be interesting storylines to this whole Saban versus Harbaugh. That's going to be just something awesome to look forward to.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you. I appreciate you calling in. Thank you very much for calling in from Anaheim, and I'll catch up with you next time.
Okay.
All right, man. See you, buddy.
Okay. Have a night. Roll Tide.
Right, roll Tide to you, man. All right. Okay. All right, guys. If I didn't get to you, I appreciate you guys not holding it against me. I came up to my time limit, so I really appreciate you guys being here. Remember, I'm going to be live Monday through Friday. I'll be back in Tuscaloosa. I'm driving from Atlanta back to Tuscaloosa on Monday morning, so I appreciate you guys being with me. Stay tuned for more coverage. Hit the thumbs up. Become a subscriber if you haven't already. 97,000 strong right here on Bama Football on YouTube. I really appreciate you guys calling in today and supporting the show. Thank you very much for the super chats. Stay tuned for much more coverage, and I really appreciate all your guys' support. 49ers rolling up on the Eagles 42-19. It's a nice day when you got the Alabama Crimson Tide beating Georgia and you got the 49ers beating up on the Eagles. So from beautiful Atlanta, Georgia, and the ATL, Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. Hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Good night.